Now let us talk about the second step, which is shipping the goods. And here in the second step, you can see that we have two small steps. First, we pick and pack the order, and then we ship the goods. What are the documents we needed for picking and packing? For picking and packing the order, we need to have a picking ticket, which is a document to record every item we receive it from the warehouse to send it to the customer. And this document has items, quantity order, authorizing the inventory control function to release that merchandise to shipping department. And then we do the packing slip. And in the packing slip here, as you can see it, it's a document listing the quantity and description of each item included in the shipment. It's in a brief that a list that shows what's inside each carton we send it to the customer. And if we ship the goods by air, we make airway bill, or if we ship it by sea, we make bill of lading like this. It's a legal document that we send it to the carrier to show that these are the items that should be sent to the customer. And it's the bill of lading, it's a legal contract that defines the responsibility for goods while they are in transit. So who will be responsible if the goods got damaged during the shipment, and who should make the insurance for this damage. So these are the documents, and now from our side as auditor, we need to see where is the threat and how can we do control. First of all, when we pick the item from the warehouse, we might pick the wrong items or the quantity items. And what we need to do is to ensure there is a barcode to scan the right item and reconcile the picking list to the sales order to ensure that the quantity that has been ordered is exactly the same that has been shipped. The next threat is theft, because once we go to the warehouse, there is a possibility that either the storekeeper or the person who's picking up the shipment or any person that can steal the stock quantity. And here we need to ensure there is a restriction for the physical access to the inventory, the transfer that is documented, and we count the inventory every regular time, like every month or every week, to ensure that the quantity that we have on the warehouse is exactly the same we have it on the system. The next one is we might fail to ship the goods to the right person. And here we need to reconcile the shipping documents against the sales order, the picking list, and the packing slip to ensure that the customer who ordered the quantity is the same customer that has been put on the bill of lading and on the packing list to ensure that we ship the right quantity to the right person. Finally, we might ship the goods to the wrong address, and we need to ensure that the data entry edit is existent to ensure that this is the current address for the shipping. So this is in brief the second step of shipping the goods. The third step is billing, making the invoice to the customer, where here we make the invoice and then update the accounts receivable. And I hope you still remember from chapter 2, the subsidiary accounts receivable ledger. And here we use two documents. First, the invoice, and the invoice is the most important document in the whole cycle. And if we issue either more or less quantity than the invoice, then we make an adjustment by creating another document. We call it credit memorandum. And this is what you can see here on the screen. On one side, the invoice, on the other side, the credit memo, which we use it to adjust any mistake in the invoice. And here we say what are the control risks that we might have it. First, we might fail to bill the customer, so we can send the goods without invoice, or we can make errors in the invoice, or we can post the errors to the accounts receivable, or we make inaccurate or invalid credit memos. And on the other side, you can see what are the controls we need to make it for each one. So for example, if we fail to bill the customer, we need to ensure that we reconcile the invoice with the sales order and the shipping documents. So if we see some quantity in the invoice and the shipping documents, but is not mentioned in the sales order, then we have to investigate the reason for that. And we need to separate the shipping and the billing functions. So the shipping should go from the warehouse, but the billing should go from the accounts department. The second step, what shall we do with the errors we have it in the invoice? We need to ensure that the data entry is correct, configure the system for automatically enter price data, so the person does not manually enter the prices, but the system will already add up the prices to ensure the price is correct. Also, we can reconcile the subsidiary ledger with the general ledger to ensure there is no mistakes in posting to the accounts receivable. And we need to make segregation in the different jobs, that those who authorize the sales different from the credit, to ensure that we don't issue the invoice and then a credit to cover up a mistake. And the last point is the collection. Once we make the billing, we need to collect our money. And here you can see in this simple diagram, there is company A and company B. They have the EDI, where the electronic data interchange, whereas company A is making the order from B. And then on the other side, B would like to get the money. So we do this through EFT, which is the electronic fund transfer, by doing a wire transfer to the supplier. And this will be done through the banks of company A and company B. So the customer can do the order electronically, and the other one can make it by electronic payment. So this is in brief the collection, that everything will be made electronically to minimize the fraud and the theft of cash and the mistakes in payment. So this is in brief the revenue cycle. I hope you find it enjoyable and hope to see you next week. Thank you.